Good morning, everyone. It's nice to virtually see you. I've been watching the participant list as you've signed in, and I'm very excited to see who is joining us today and looking forward to this meeting. Quite honestly, this meeting has been a long time coming. First, because this was planned for March 13th, and of course was needed to be canceled. We were very disappointed. A lot of planning went into this meeting among a number of partners, and that was a disappointment. But it was also a long time coming in terms of having this conversation about the critical importance of home-based care and how we can support it more effectively. In fact, the pandemic has elevated the importance of childcare in general. I think the public now understands childcare the way we all, and especially you all do, as a critically important service, not only for children and families, but for the economy of our state. I think that has been brought home to people in a way that we've not experienced before. And I think family childcare has had a very special place in that conversation. So this is a great time to be having this meeting. ACNJ has worked since the fall with our partners, Childcare Aware of New Jersey, the New Jersey Family Child Care Providers Association, and all our kin to plan this meeting. It was bringing together of people who are very interested and supportive, who've worked in the family child care arena, to talk about what can we do to strengthen both the stability and quality of family child care in New Jersey, and hopefully to expand it as a resource for children. And again, the pandemic has added both an urgency and I think a significant opportunity to that conversation. So what we're going to do in our webinar this morning, our virtual meeting this morning, is to identify the urgent needs that family child care providers are experiencing now because of the pandemic, but do that in the context of envisioning what long-lasting, durable change is necessary to better support family child care. So this virtual meeting is our first step to have the conversation we wanted to have back in March. And it's only a first step. We see this meeting as an opportunity to identify issues, to bring a broad group of stakeholders together, and then to map out what comes next. So we're very excited about the presentations that you'll hear this morning. We're thrilled that you all joined us today. As I've watched the participant list, I think we have a great representation of people who are interested in, and even more importantly, work directly within the family child care system. Looking forward to hearing from you. First part of the meeting is going to be some presentations, and I'll introduce who those speakers are. But there'll be room at the end of the meeting where we're going to divide up into breakout rooms and give you an opportunity to share your perspective, your point of view, as we map out the future. So this is a pretty large event. I think we had 55 people signed up right now. We are up to 44 people involved already in the meeting. No time for individual introductions. So I'm going to ask you to type your name and your organization in the chat box. So if you just go to the bottom of your screen, click on chat, and just type in your name and who you represent. That way we'll get to know who's here in the meeting. And I would also ask you, since to me we're at a very critical point in reopening the state. You know, we've been home for 12 weeks. Many childcare centers have been closed, although family childcare homes have not. It's to me a critical transition point. I do want to acknowledge some special people who have joined us. We're very excited to have representation from the family childcare community. I know a number of people have joined us, stepped away from their business today to share their perspective at this meeting. I'm going to introduce the two family childcare providers who you're going to hear from in a few minutes, but I do want to acknowledge every other family childcare provider joining the meeting. We appreciate you stepping away from your business.
Hello, I'm in a meeting right now, Yvette. Can I call you back? All right, I'll call you back.
I'm going to go back to Catherine's point. Helpful to keep yourself on mute during the meeting. So the two family child care providers professionals who you'll hear from today are Beverly Lee, who's the Vice President of the New Jersey Family Child Care Provider Association. She's also the New Jersey, New York regional representation for the National Association of Family Child Care Providers. Beverly, if you want to take yourself off video, it'd be great to see you. And also, I'm really excited to have Charnette Frey Palmer. I see Charnette on the screen. She's a member of the New Jersey Family Child Care Providers Association, as well as the Coalition of Infant Toddler Educators, and a family child care provider in Passaic County. Thank you so much for joining us today. And again, no time to recognize every family child care provider at the meeting. You'll get to meet people in the chat rooms, but I do want to acknowledge and tell you how much we appreciate your being here with us today. So before I introduce Natalie and turn this over, I've been looking at your introductions in the chat room. If you have not introduced yourself in the chat room, we've asked you to just include your name, who you represent, and one word that describes how you're feeling today. As I'm looking at this, I see a lot of hopefuls, which is very positive. I see a couple of tireds and some engaged. So we hope you remain engaged with us all morning. We think this is going to be a very productive, interesting, informative meeting. I think all of you who are participating have a unique perspective to offer, and I'm very excited, looking forward to our conversation today. So I'm going to turn this over to Natalie Renew. Natalie is the director of a new organization called Homegrown. It's a national collaborative of funders, launched by a national collaborative of funders who are committed to improving the quality of and access to home-based care. I got to know Natalie last year when ACNJ participated in a Pritzker Children's Initiative Planning Grant, which gave us an opportunity to look at how we can strengthen the system for children from birth to 3. Childcare is a big part of that agenda, and family childcare is a prominent part of the childcare agenda. Natalie was one of 2 individuals we engaged to help us facilitate those meetings, and I have really enjoyed working with Natalie. Her knowledge and experience, to me, she has the perfect mix of on-the-ground experience and understanding, as well as an ability to put it in a national context. And she's a great facilitator. So I'm very excited to introduce Natalie Renew, who's going to get us started on our meeting. Thank you, everyone.